Most traders think this week's story was Friday's sell-off. It wasn't. The market gave us the answer nearly 5 days earlier. The clues were already there. Let's ask why. Before we zoom into each day, let's start with the big picture, because every session is just one chapter in a much larger auction. At first glance, this looked like a bullish week. Buyers opened the week aggressively and quickly pushed price to new highs. But the market was already leaving clues. Those higher prices never found acceptance. Acceptance is simply the market agreeing that higher prices are fair. That agreement never happened. Instead, buyers who chased the breakout became trapped. In other words, traders expecting higher prices suddenly found themselves on the wrong side of the market. That became the first clue that this auction was beginning to change. Now let's look beyond price. Price tells us where the market traded. Value tells us where the market wanted to trade. This yellow line is the weekly VWAP. Think of it as the average price participants paid throughout the week. Notice what happened after Monday. Price continued moving, but value began migrating lower. Value migration simply means the market gradually accepted lower prices as fair value. That's an important distinction. Price can move quickly. Value usually moves much slower. This week, value followed price lower. Now let's look at where business was actually conducted. This is the weekly volume profile. The point of control is the single price where buyers and sellers conducted the most business. Think of it as the market saying, "This is where we agreed the most." The area between the two heavy dashed white lines is the weekly value area. Roughly 70% of the week's trading occurred inside this range. By Friday, price was no longer trading inside value. Sellers pushed the auction below the value area low. That's trading jargon for an auction becoming out of balance. In plain English, the market was no longer accepting the prices it had considered fair throughout most of the week. That's the clue many traders missed. So what was this week's story? Buyers began the week in control, but they failed to earn acceptance at higher prices. As the week progressed, value gradually migrated lower. By Friday, sellers had taken control of the auction and pushed price below weekly value. The lesson isn't that Friday was bearish. That Friday was simply the result of clues the market had been leaving all week.
If you found this recap useful, subscribe so you don't miss the daily market recaps and our weekend auction reviews. We focus on market structure, auction theory, and the tools professional traders use to understand price, not chase it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Traders Workshop.